once again. Welcome back, everybody, to the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series. Tonight, it is New Hampshire night. We got 106 laps on tap here. We're just about to get this thing started, and I have a new guest. Well, new to this series, but maybe not so new on the channel as a whole. Frickin' Nathan Stapleton. Holy crap, how long has it been? Welcome back.
It's been a long time, man, but it's good to be back. First time doing anything online for an holiday in, gosh, 4 years, but good to be back for the Monster Mile, and good to see if we can get a lobster to take on with him.
I'm in. I think it's the Magic Mile, but you're pretty close there. But yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Guys are going to be slipping and sliding a little bit. These long straights, flat turns. Fair amount of pit stops as well. Pit window's pretty short. We're looking at probably about 35 laps, maybe 40 if you can stretch it a little bit. That's going to be a big question mark on the night as far as who's going to be able to push it a little better than some others. But Nathan, it's good to have you here. Hoping to call the action as it comes. We'll go ahead and go down the...
Drivers, to your car.
We'll go back on the starting lineup here real quick as we are just about to get this thing started. See, I'm kind of misclicking all over the place. So there we go. We'll get you some live pictures here. So, on the pole position, Jacob Smetana in the 42, the Hooters colors that has been all too familiar with getting to victory lane here this season. Looking to do it once again, and as Nathan said, get one big lobster out of that one. Sean Romero will be to his outside in the 71. And it's Matt Watkins and Randall Coleman, a couple of winners on the season. Greg Lovell and Jovan Anderson, both those guys pretty skilled, but still looking for their first wins on the season. And then rounding out the top 10, James Moore and Cody Luke. That is the inconsistent here. Actually, that was 7th and 8th, excuse me. Rounding out the top 10 is actually Toby Roberson and Alex Moe, 64 and 048. Nathan, I know that you haven't seen much NR online in a while, but I don't know, anything that you're looking forward to seeing here?
Well, New Hampshire's nearly a tough track in my life. I'm really curious of how it plays onto online if it's just like it is in real life.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. Smaller field than normal, but still going to be a good race as the green flag is in the air here at the Magic Mile. Got a spinner already.
Oh, there they go.
Maybe Sean Romero going around, gets a couple clips. And underneath, James Moore there, and I think that's going to be a reset. With that being on the first lap, Tyler Stallhood also went around in the patriotic colors in the number 27. And yeah, they're wrecking it up, so I think that we're going to have a reset.
Well, welcome back to online for me.
Yeah.
To your cars.
If that is not a clear indication of how tough New Hampshire is, then I don't know what is. Just a spinner on lap 1 in the first attempt.
Yeah, cold tires, that definitely doesn't help as well. These tires got to kind of get up temperature if we're going to get these cars a little more settled into the corners. Got to get a little bit of temperature, especially into that right rear. But at the same time, you don't want to burn it off. You want to keep those tires under you. So that's always the game at these tracks. New Hampshire, at least this version in particular, shouldn't be too bad in terms of tire wear. So they should be able to go pretty much the full run. And we'll see what that'll do as far as pit strategy goes. So is everyone taking the grid once again here? Looks like we're only going to have about 15 or 16 here tonight. I was just looking at some stats from previous races. The previous smallest field was 22, so it's definitely the smallest of the season, but hey, that's kind of to be expected for a tougher flat track like this. But we're going to give it another try here.
Hopefully, Set Twi is a little bit more forgiving for these drivers. I'm on lap 1 this time and not pile them up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the second place starter, Sean Romero, that went around, so that shows you just how slippery it is, especially with these with the different grips in the track. As we are back to racing here for the official start. Whatever happens on this start, well, it's just going to be what these drivers got to live with. Matt Watkins gets up to second in the 15. A few drivers trying to sort themselves out there from about 6 on back. Randall Coleman, Joe and Anderson going side by side. Everyone maybe being a little more gingerly this time.
Oh, someone in the wall back there. And so honestly, I've not really done online so far, but just since you've done most of these races so far fast, how has the next-gen color changed online racing this season, or has it not really changed it that much?
Well, the interesting thing about this league and Randall Coleman putting on the show here is that they've actually been doing most races with Cup Physics, but they've done some with CTS. So that's really played with it a little bit. Really, the only difference that I can really observe would be like if they're running at super speedways and they're trying to push each other, they're able to lock up pretty good, which some mods you can't really do that as well. So I would say that's the only real difference that I've noticed. And then of course the difference in the physics whenever they do the different races, but otherwise these guys just know a thing or two about how to drive on these tracks. And they're putting on a show here already. Is lap 4 and the top 4 pretty much under a blanket here.
Top 4, and then I think someone missed the turn to 93. Manson either got loose or sideways in 1 and 2, and he's gonna drop back like a rock.
Wow, yeah.
Early on.
5th place, barely gonna hold on to the top 10 here. For Jovan Anderson, one of the more successful drivers in the series without a win so far this season. Of course, some of you may remember him as Ricky Johnson, but now going by his proper name. And currently battling with another winner on the season, the 09 of Ediver Leal. And last week's winner, Joshua Moyers, who I expect to see him up toward the front here soon enough. But yeah, Joshua Moyers was able to win it at your home track, Nathan. Oh, as right as I mentioned him, he's going to spin it out.
Watch out.
It's going to be a caution as Sean Whitehill goes to the outside there. Boy, I just jinxed the heck out of it. I was about to say, he won at your home track last week in Indianapolis.
Well, talk about a commentator's close Stainston, who just jinxed the guy that won last week.
It's my job as a commentator. That's all there is to it.
But yeah, it's one thing to win at Indy, but it's a whole different thing to win at New Hampshire. And we saw right there the commentator's close happened right when we were talking about him and spun out. You got the Magic Mile.
Yeah, going around there. I mean, yeah, Josh Moyers, a multi-time winner on the season. But just hitting that grip patch just a little funky, and round he goes. But never hit anything, never hit anyone, so that's going to be no worse for wear. Just lost a couple spots and a little bit of tire wear. Now, that is a thing for this track that the admins have decided to institute for this race that they have not in previous races. And that is the 2 in park rule. So if you cause 2 cautions, your race is done. So that's going to be the other interesting thing for Moyers. If he causes another one in some way, shape, or form, he's done.
Yeah, hopefully he does not have another clash and the league can keep it clean. One thing I've noticed is that this track, well, this version of New Hampshire has the PJ1 stain on it. And that might have grip on it, more grip than the middle. So I'm gonna have to see if that goes into effect all night long.
Yeah, that's the thing with these newer tracks is, I mean, yeah, you see them using PJ1 in real life. I mean, same could be said about NR and how they set the grooves and the grip levels of those grooves in the track eyes. It can vary from groove to groove, and he probably just hit something a little funky there. And then, of course, the very bottom lane there, just above the apron, is flatter than the rest of the track, so that probably also contributed to that a little bit. As I also have lightning storm going on outside here, so that's interesting.
Oh, I had that at 6 a.m. this morning, so have fun with that, Andrew. It's gonna be interesting. I know in real life, but that third lane is the lane that everyone wants, so it's gonna be interesting to see if that ends up being the third lane all night long at New Hampshire, or if that middle lane ends up finding some speed at some point.
It definitely seems like if you're lower than, or if you're in the low lane compared to whoever's to the outside of you, it looks like that's been preferred so far, and of course we're only just a handful of laps in here. We got a long one here, as you see down at the bottom left of your screen, 106 laps on tap for this one. And again, a lot of pit stops with the shorter pit window. And I've been noticing a lot of guys shifting as well, so it's also going to make the rear end turn a little bit better, but maybe a little too much if you're Josh Marters, that is.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting if we end up seeing more of those situations happen where they just misjudge the PJ1 patches and they just spin out. And, that could be a factor all night long. It's gonna be interesting what happens here once we go back. I mean, if it ends up being crazy, or if these guys decide to settle it back down, knowing that it's about 100 laps left still.
Yeah, it's a little less than 100 here. Just still got Jacob Spatana leading from the pole. Matt Watkins has claimed second place now in the 15. Sean Romero third. Greg Lovell fourth. Randall Coleman will be P5. Credit to Alex Moe up there in the 048. Currently running in 6th place. Then you got James Moore and Toby Roberson, and Cody Luke and Jovan Anderson, who dropped back pretty good there, as Nathan mentioned. Through turns 1 and 2 a little bit earlier, looking to try to make up some ground there. Of course, Josh Moyer is going to be really looking to make up ground, but we're going to have to be careful doing it. We're going to go back green flag racing here. And off they go. A nice, fairly even restart, but good jump for the 42. Going to inch ahead and should be able to clear going into turn 1.
Ooh, that was really close to the top 2 in 1 and 2. 15 might do a crossover off of turn 2. He does, but I don't think he gets a good enough one in the 5th and the 42. It's going to keep the top spot, as they're really crazy in the back.
Yeah, a little trouble there for Toby Roberson, getting a little squirrely, but was able to keep it straight, getting bullied around by those behind him. But Watkins right on the tail of the 42, trying to put some pressure on him, see if he can maybe force him into a mistake.
This 42 looks to be pretty fast. I'm just saying the numbers, I am not going to try to butcher his name. The 15 of Matt Watkins, all over his back bumper in that trailer, trying to take that race lead.
Yeah, looking to get it done. I mean, you got a couple of race winners right here. Jacob Santana with, I believe, 4 wins on the season. Also won 2 weeks ago at Road America. And Watkins trying to make something happen there. We saw Watkins win in crazy fashion at North Wilkesboro. And Greg Lovell, I know him. I race with him fairly frequently. He loves these flat tracks. This is his bread and butter. And he knows how to get it done here, and you see it. He's running with the best here, running in 3rd place right now, and Evelyn Ford.
Well, if he's good at flat tracks, maybe he could pass his top 2 and take the race leeway, but too early to tell. He tried running that 3rd lane, but it did not work out whatsoever as the 48 gonna try to take that 3rd spot away.
Actually got a great run off the corner there for the 088, gonna stay clear for now, but yeah, that credit to Alex Moe, running a phenomenal 4th place at the moment. Was able to get by Coleman and Sean Romero. Who, outside pole sitter, still running a very solid 5th place. Field getting a little strung out here, just a little bit. Go back to Jovan Anderson in 7th, maybe trying to conserve his stuff a little bit. But watch out for that 68. You know that he's going to be coming, and he's going to be coming quick.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the top 6 have pulled away from 7-1 back. It's almost like 2 different packs. You got New Hampshire, even though this is not pack racing. You got 2 halves of the field going at Loudon so far in pretty good racing, but I have to see if that second pack or anyone from that second group can catch up with the top 6.
We already have 2 retirees on the night. You have 15 starters, and we got 13 cars on the track. Oscar Ramos and Edward Leal have both called it a night already in the 50 and the 09. I don't remember seeing anything happen to them, but that's going to be a number there. So we got 13 cars on the track, which, yeah, like you said, pretty much means that you got 2 packs pretty much split up the middle. But that 93 and 68, I think, are going to start to reel in that pack up front.
Yeah, for sure. That 68, Joshua Moyes, he just did his best lap last time by a 30.370. So maybe he might have been saving up his stuff, because that is one of the fastest times of the night so far.
Looking solid so far, but yeah, him and Jovan Anderson, they always will try to be the ones to save their tires the most and try to get up there toward the end. Greg Lovell with the fastest lap of the race thus far with a 207, 30.207 that is. As the front 3 now are pretty much in their own little pack there. Sean Romero has just got by Alex Moe and Randy Coleman right behind them, so you got 3 up front, then another 3, and then 2 who's trying to make that 3 into 5.
And tires are definitely starting to be a factor for these guys. And it's going to be interesting if when pit stops happen and if strategy ends up happening at all in this race. If I don't know, it goes caution free the entire race.
That could be interesting, yeah. Like, you have to see. I think someone may have spun it or almost spun it. I'm not really sure there. I saw some smoke and some skid marks, but everything's looking clean and green at the moment. Now, something interesting to note here as well, Jacob Smetana and most of the other drivers are shifting. Matt Watkins is not. And he's doing just fine. So I guess it's probably just a feel thing, and whatever works best for each of these drivers, that's what they're going to stick with. And right as I say that, Watkins goes in downshifts there into turn 1.
Yeah, that's what's unique from New Hampshire. Sometimes they downshift and sometimes they don't. Watkins trying something out, was the only one not shifting, or one of the few, and now he is shifting, and that might have made him gone faster, because this lap he got close to the 42 both times at Sing 2 and 4.
Yeah, he got really close, so he's definitely getting a better drive off than he was. And if he's able to get even just a little bit of a run with how close he got there, he should be able to make the move. But better corner there for the 42, going to get ahead of him a little bit. But yeah, it looks like shifting is going to be the way to go in terms of drive off of these corners. Alex Moe starting to drop back now. Going to fall behind Josh Moyers. And yeah, look at the 68 and the 93 here. They are both really making up some hay now, as they are starting to pass Coleman, who's certainly going to slide through these tracks. As Jovan Anderson going to move up into the top 5. Should be seeing 6th place here for the 68 once he gets the move done on that Tire Pro Chevrolet. Oh, if he doesn't have to check up.
That was kind of almost a slide job right there for P6, and that's going to work out for the 68. There's up another spot, and he is flying at Chevy. And I will just say, remember when you said that you thought you saw smoke? Well, you did. The 12 spun out in 3-4 on lap 17, but he didn't hit anything, so he's all good.
Okay, yeah, good, good
that
call.
That was the smoke that you saw.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, and hey, that's why it's also nice having another set of eyes in here. I don't have to cut away from the live shot, and I can find out what happened if I'm not able to look myself. So appreciate you doing that.
And so far, pretty good racing here at New Hampshire, and so far the 42 wants that lobster more than everyone else. But I think the 15 really wants that lobster to take him from that 42.
I wonder if they serve lobster hooters.
That's a great question.
Because that's the 42 sponsor, and you know, they might be if he's able to win it today.
they might just use his lobster if he wins.
Probably so. As
Probably.
long as he's not afraid of them like Denny Hamlin was. I mean,
Lobster phobia.
Those things are huge.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of lobsters either.
The best that you'll get from me is just saying hello to the lobsters that you see at your local grocery store. It's just kind of
Same.
Yeah, those are fine. The ones that they give to the winner here, that's a bit much.
And right now that 42 is pulling away from the 15 of Watkins, and the 42 might have a long one call it here in New Hampshire, but I have to see if the 15 can catch up.
Yeah, this front four getting a little more spread out here. Joshua Moyers is getting away from the 93. Battle right now is off in the 7th position between the 48 and the 9. Cody Luke also in the 8 car looking to get into that mix. Alex Moe going to get that spot. After kind of dropping back a little bit, but looks like he's stabilized here.
Oh!
Man, that was a hit. Yeah, this is a track that a little bit of side damage ain't going to hurt you. This is moderate damage as well, so you're going to be way better off just letting it go and just keeping it going as opposed to going into the pits and losing several seconds on pit road trying to get it fixed.
Yeah, basically because of the quote-unquote composite body on the net chin, you can hit the wall and get away with it.
Yeah, a little more robust. Look at Moyers though. If you look at his lap times, he's like 2 or 3 tenths quicker per lap than these guys up toward the front here. So I would expect him to start to make some noise here pretty soon. Probably a pit stops coming up here within the next 8-10 laps for these leaders, since they did have a few laps under caution there to save some fuel. So they should be coming up here pretty soon, and that'll be interesting to see if pitting sooner or later is going to be the right way to go about it.
Yeah, and what these guys cannot do early on is when they do pit for the first green flag stops, do not speed. This is only a mile-long track, and if you speed, that's going to cost you. Big time early on.
A heck of a penalty, yeah. It's a 45 mile per hour pit road speed, and last thing you want is to get bought for that. And this is going to be kind of a tricky pit road to get onto as well, just kind of come down to that transition. But you do have a little room up until pit road speed begins to try to get slowed down in time. It's just going to be a matter of making that transition. Even though it's not very much of a transition from the little bit of banking to the flat, it's going to be enough that it can definitely upset the car if you're trying to fly it in there. I mean, we saw what that transition did to Josh Moyers earlier, and well, you see how quick he is. So he knows a thing or two, so that can catch you out really easily.
Yeah, and one mistake will fight you in the rear end really, really quickly here, because like what I mentioned earlier with the 12 spinning, he tried passing someone on the inside lane, and he just got snapped loose and went around. And if that ends up happening to one of these guys, that could cost them, especially if it ends one of these top 3. But I don't think it will, at least as of now. Looks like this top 3 have really figured something out, especially the top 2 early on at New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, these two are definitely looking like the class of the field right now. The question mark at this point is, like I said, if pitting
the lead's on pit road.
And trying to get the undercut is going to be the right move. Is that we got James Moore coming down here, going to be the first to come down. Maybe trying for that undercut strategy.
Now, what would be better, the undercut or the overcut here at New Hampshire?
That is a very good question. I mean, the lap times have fallen off a bit, maybe about half a second. but I don't know if it's going to be enough that it's going to make a significant difference. But I definitely think that if you pit sooner, you're going to gain track position. But then you run the risk of losing it again later down the road. So that's going to be the interesting call to make here. Now, if this was a track like Darlington, where the tires were really falling off, then oh yeah, you want to pit sooner. No doubt about it, as the battle for third might actually be starting to heat up here shortly. Sean Romero and Josh Moyers have both closed in on Greg Lovell by a fair margin, so once the battle for the podium here start to possibly get a little heated. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Perfect timing. Always has to be during broadcast. Sean Whitehill going a lap down there. Lap 36 of 106, so we will be taking 70 laps to go this time by. Again, I think they should be able to go maybe another lap or two if they want to stretch the fuel. But if you don't want to stretch it as much, then we'll see what they decide to do. 42 is going to stay out a lap. As will 15. But man, that 42 has said goodbye.
Yeah, it's basically said, goodbye, I'm gonna see you all next week after I get myself a lobster here at New Hampshire.
Yeah.
If the 42 keeps on doing this, that might be what happens.
Randall Coleman is on pit road. As 68 has gotten by the 71, that was fourth place. 42 has stayed out. The 15, Watkins is coming in. He is hot coming in there, but looks like he was able to get down to speed, so here's where we're going to see what the strategy call is going to be. It's the 15 and the 088 of Greg Lovell also in. So what is this going to do, and will the 42 respond?
Yeah, the 42 has not pitted yet. I'm kind of surprised about that.
Actually, yeah, he's staying out again, and that is actually a little bit surprising indeed. Josh Moyer's staying out as well as Sean Romero. Joe Anderson doing the same. Looks like Watkins and Lovell were the only two to come in there, so although now the 15 might be coming out into traffic, so that might actually hinder him a little bit as far as trying to get that undercut. 42 staying out once again.
I think he's one of the few that's not pitted yet. The 68, I'm pretty sure is not pitted yet either, I could be wrong.
Nope, 68 has not pitted. The 71 didn't until now. 71, Sean Romero is coming in. There's Cody Luke in the background also coming in. And in terms of the front runners, not very many really pitted there in between the 15 and the 088. Of course, Randall Coleman was the first to come in out of everybody within the top half. This 42, I mean, if he gets a caution here at any point, that'll really be big brain time at that point, because that would mean that he'll be trapping quite a few guys a lap down. As Romero
I mean,
comes out of
who
pits.
knows? Maybe that's his plan. Maybe that's his plan is to trap most of the lap down. I don't know.
Still going. Boy, now this is the point where if you don't get the caution, and Matt Watkins is running definitely quicker, over half a second a lap quicker, so I think that he is definitely going to get that undercut without any issue. So that's a little bit concerning with how long that 42 is staying out.
If I was 42, I would probably pit sooner rather than later, because the longer he waits, that's just going to allow Watkins to just pass him, potentially, due to the massive undercut that he did.
It's going to be a big undercut at this rate, but on the flip side of that, well, who's going to have the fresher tires after he pits? That would be the 42. So he can try to run him back down again, and that'll give him the advantage in that regard. Swinging it wide, and he's slowing it down. He is finally bringing it in.
Got it.
A little more conservative there on the pit entry, pretty much nailing that one. So now we'll see what this is going to mean for the strategy. I actually think that Joshua Moyers has also yet to pit and is going to take the lead here briefly.
I think besides that, yeah, the 93 also stayed out he is in. I think, and the 27, the 68 and the 27 have not pitted yet from the looks of it.
27 being Tyler Stallman. And 68 is staying out once again here. Now here comes Matt Watkins in relation to the 42, and this looks like it probably won't be much of a contest, and no, it will not. Matt Watkins is going to get at least a second, maybe a couple seconds ahead of the 42, but now he's going to have to try to hold that gap, because now the tables are going to switch over into Smetana's favor as far as tires go.
And I'm still shocked. I'm shocked about the 42 still was out there for so long, and I'm shocked about the 68 and the 27 still out here on old tires.
Yeah, they're really doing their thing here. Just checking on through the field. Not too many significant changes by the looks of it at the moment. Greg Lovell was also one of the drivers that pitted earlier. He pitted with Watkins. And he's going to catch right up to the 68. This will be to unlap himself. And yeah, I remember the 68 got really close to the 088, and actually, I can't recall if he got by him, but I think the 088 is going to be checking out from the 68 here pretty good. With the strategy falling this way, but then that also maybe calls into question, could that possibly line up the 42 and the 68 and some others who stay out longer to maybe just say screw it and pit one less time than everyone else?
Maybe. It might be the case with these guys, like the 48, the 27, and the 42. They might be saying, hey, we can only pit one more time, but then everyone else that's already pitted, when to the undercut, they might have to pit once or two more times in this one instead of pitting one time. So it could be a massive big brain strategy from 68, the 27, and the 42.
Absolutely there. As the 42 is also really laying down some laps into the 30.1s, whereas Watkins 30.4 there. So yeah, just like I said, that is really going to switch into favor there. 68 still out. He has gone. Well, also, actually, remember this too. I'm just now remembering this. The 68, he pitted.
Oh yeah.
Under that caution because, of course, he got the penalty. So this actually really could work out in his favor.
Yeah, I think that might be the case with the 27 and the 71. Both pitted under that caution, and they are still out there because of that. That's very interesting.
I mean, it still means that Moyers has gone at least like 43 laps on this tank, which means that yeah, he might be in good shape here to probably do it on another two stops.
Yeah, the 27 is finally in, and now it's only the 68 that is out one that's not pitted, and that has not made his green flag stop. And whenever he decides to pit, that will have the 15 out front, but for how long that 42 remains and blistering lap times? That's the question.
Yeah, I think at this point Watkins is on borrowed time up here in the lead. Well, net lead, that is, because Smetana is just laying down point one after point one after point one, laying down the fastest laps of the race, and Watkins starting to feel the effects of that tire wear. Looks like he's also keeping it in fourth gear, maybe trying to save those tires a little bit. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of time here. They're catching James Moore in the 03. Moyer's finally bringing it in here. So that will officially hand the lead over to Watkins.
And I think the 68 is only gonna have to pit one more time. I'm pretty sure if it stays going all the way.
Actually, oh yeah, you're right. What are we talking about 2 stops? Yeah, you're right. It is only have to be one more.
So that's gonna be really interesting if Joshua Moyes can take advantage of doing a one more stop strategy when everyone else will probably have to do 1 or 2, depending on what happens.
Moyers may have just won this race if this stays green. If this stays green, I think that he's got the winning strategy with how long he was able to stay out there. I don't see any of these other guys being able to pull it off on one more stop. Oh my God, that caution! It's going to be James Moore spinning!
Right in front of second place, and that's going to be a caution.
And just like that, everything is going to get reset.
Once again, commentators, because Andrew, you literally just said that James Moore, well, not James Moore, but the 68 might have
strategy.
might have the winning strategy, and what happens? The 03 spins out.
So that is the last time I'm ever going to mention someone winning for all race, because and both times, of course, it was in 3 and 4, and both times the camera was on the spinning car, which just makes that even worse.
Just don't get in that position anymore, but you might jinx someone. Just don't do that anymore.
I will do my
that's
very,
happened
very
twice.
best.
Well, that changes everything.
That changes
just past
a lot.
halfway, or getting close to halfway.
Although the 68 just stayed out, which I'm actually not surprised at. I mean, he ran like a lap on those tires, so not really surprised there. Everyone else is in. 42 has to back it up in his stall. That might hurt him. Well, let's get their tires. We'll keep it here to live shot, and then we'll get a look at what has caused the second caution here in the race, which is actually, and Nathan, I will point this out, though, it has actually been a very clean race. That is only the second caution, and we are 55 laps in.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, when I first was told that it is in Hampshire, I was like, oh boy, this will be something else. But honestly, no. Been having some good racing, and only one car spin so far here tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty clean. Even the 03, I mean, just spinning out, but no contact, no nothing, so just another single car. So by the looks of it here, he kind of brakes a little bit later than Watkins, and then I think kind of had a check-up for that, wasn't quite ready for it, and then just spun it on the downshift.
Yeah, that would definitely do it.
Yeah, just got the back end just a little bit unhappy there. But should be no worse for Wenger. But of course he'll be on the one more caution and you're out.
Looks like the 03 and the 12 are going to be on the 10. I don't know if they do wave rounds in the league, but
They are allowed to do wave rounds. We do have lucky dogs as well.
Gotcha.
The 03 would not be eligible, being that he caused that. I don't remember if that means that it would go to the next car, or if that just means that there would be no lucky dog.
So yeah, right now, technically it's 12 cars on the lead lap, but 2 of them are on the tail end. And knowing how fast these cars are up front, they probably will not stay on the lead lap once we stay back. Probably.
Well, if they're able to stay there, then they'll get the wave around. And again, I think that's what the rule is if you cause the caution.
The 27, I think that is 27. Yeah, the 27's going to get his lap back. The 03 and the 12 as well. But yeah, everyone's going to get way back around. So we won't have that problem of wave around or cars on the tail end being in the way.
James Ward doesn't spin out trying to just catch up to the field. Ooh, that was a little marginal there. So, yep, that is going to be Stallherd, Moore, and Whitehill back onto the lead lap here, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed, they will be. I saw Randall Coleman had stayed out there for a little bit. Got a couple laps left there, and then came right back down pit road. So we are going to have, let's see, right now it is 50 laps to go. Going to be 49 this time by.
I doubt they can make it.
I don't think so either. I feel like maybe Coleman might be trying, with how late he pitted there, but I do not see anyone else being able to do it. Moyers went pretty long on that run, but even then he didn't quite go all the way in terms of that length. But we're back to racing here. It's Matt Watkins out front now. Let's see if he's going to be able to fend off the 42. We'll up the track for the 088. Yeah, that inside lane is definitely want to be on these restarts, but he's going to hold tough there. And side by side for second.
Watkins is gone. Battle for second is heating up. And if these guys keep on going side by side, the 93 Lance might be able to sneak up into this battle and make it a three-way battle. We got a spin on the back.
Oh, it's Moyers again, or excuse me, James Moore again. Caution back out. We'll see if he just looped it or if he may have had some help. But second caution in a row with the 03 spinning out. It's just in front of Sean Whitehill. And he does just lose it all by himself.
Awesome.
So
Lion turns 24 again.
Yeah, that's definitely the trouble spot. No doubt about it. And yeah,
And now,
if
do
I'm
these
not
guys
mistaken, he's gonna be done for the night.
looks like it.
Well, he's on pit road there and getting a change of tires, so we'll see what the call is gonna be.
Now, we only did one lap. Do they stay out, or are they gonna pit? Looks like they're gonna stay out and try to save something on this caution here.
If I'm a gambling man and I was toward the back, I would top off. Like I see Sean Whitehill doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like for everyone else, track position at this track is going to be huge. So I think that they would probably need to go another 4 or 5 laps in order to be really good and safe on fuel if they saved a bit. Because remember again, Josh. Oh my gosh, I keep mixing them up. Joshua Moyers pitted on and topped off with fuel on about lap 7 or 8, and then went as far as about lap 48. So he was able to get it to about 40 laps, maybe a little bit more than that. So I think you're looking at, if you stretch it and save a little bit of fuel, probably low to mid 40s on fuel.
We could have a fuel modulator here on Hampshire.
I see some clutching. I see the 088 clutching pretty good there. You can see the car kind of bouncing downward. That is him clutching. And so is Matt Watkins. So they're trying.
3 more cars in the back are gonna go out and pit the 9, the 68, and the 64. So it looks like some guys are gonna try to stretch it, and then some guys are saying, we're just gonna kind of have this caution.
Yeah, I know Randall would. I'm not surprised that he's gonna try that. Josh Moyers as well. But also, yeah, Toby Roberson kind of running about back in the midfield all night, so giving something else to try here. My co-commentator from last week in Indianapolis out there in the 64 Penske Toyota. Winner at Atlanta earlier in the season.
So, funny story, I guess. The 03 went down pit road. They impromptu burn out in his pit stall, and apparently that blew the valve.
So
I don't know.
He went out in a blaze of glory, is what he did.
Pretty much, he put on one heck of a burnout, even though he didn't win, and he blew the engine up in the process. So, I guess that's how he's going to end his night.
Well, if you're going to go out, you go out in style. I mean, he kind of has. I mean, he is the main financial provider for this series, so give him a little free rein.
The 9 and 68 are back down pit road, probably just to top off again with another lap of caution.
Getting every bit that they can here. they are definitely going to try it. I wouldn't be surprised if the 64 tries it as well. Everyone else is going to be super iffy, even if they were clutching. So it's Matt Watkins in the lead. Jacob Smetana to the outside now. We know how strong that 42 is, but can he hold his own on that outside lane? We're going to find out here. Got Greg Lovell and Jovan Anderson. Do not count out that 93. Yeah, that is a fast driver right there, so I expect him to make some noise before this thing is done. We have Sean Romero and Cody Luke there in row number 3. We're going to go back to green flag racing here on the lap Nintendo 64. Yes, the joke had to be made.
And we saw and realized at New Hampshire, MTJ was not part of the day, but late in the going, his car fell off, and his teammate Bell was able to take it. I feel like we are kind of seeing the same scenario because they had the also save. The 42, I feel like has the best car here, but now we could be in a fuel saving mode, and I don't know what will happen now with that 42. That's the big question, if they can make it or not.
Yeah, it's going to be a very big question. It looked like he let off a little early there and let the OD past him. So that's going to put him in 3rd place at the moment. A little bit of battling going on back here. Trying to hold his own in the outside lane. A little close to the 48. But going to lose a spot in the top 5 to Sean Romero. And up auto parts 71 now up into the top 5.
Top 5, single file. Oh, 2 people just hit the wall.
I don't think that those guys are saving.
Yeah, I think we will easily be able to tell if who's saving and who's not saving here.
Well, I'll just point this out to you, Nathan. Matt Watkins has been the best at running laps, staying in 4th gear the whole time. That is going to benefit him in terms of keeping the RPMs lower and saving a little bit that way. We got 40 laps to go right now. So, and everyone else looks like they're just going full bore and not really worried about it. So,
yeah, that 15 might be in the captain's seat, staying in 4th gear the way he is.
I mean, he's going to have to keep doing that if he has any chance of it. But otherwise, if he doesn't, this 9 and 68, I think, if they save a little bit extra, which it looks like they are, because it looks like they're also running 4th. I think that they might have this thing. But I'm not going to say it. I already jinxed someone earlier. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I only jinxed 2 people tonight.
I am not going to make it a 3rd. I am keeping my mouth shut in that regard. So
or we could be completely wrong and it might not be a few race. Who knows?
Yeah, they may have run just enough laps under caution that they were able to get it to the number that they need, as we're on lap 69, and you gotta love that. Oh, 42.
Being of the 42 being one of the best cars here, he almost took out 2nd and 3rd. Second and himself.
That got a little iffy there. I thought that he was heading straight for the bumper of Greg Lovell right there. That was a little too close. And yeah, he kind of did check up there, got a little squirrely. Kept it straight, but going to lose a little bit of ground. But they still hold on to 3rd. Go for 5th. Between Sean Romero and Alex Moe. 048. Sideways, right on that transition.
That's kind of sketchy. Pretty good battle for 5th though between these 2. Watch out for turns 24. That's been the trouble spot all night. Though bump potentially doing a slide drop off the turn, gonna keep it. But will
there for the 48.
But will the 7 be close enough? I don't think so.
Nah,
he's gonna take it.
He's got a pretty good gap there. Nice move there. I will say just make sure that you're still on the live shot. But top 3 pretty much under a blanket here. Do they have enough to make it? Just based on how hard they're running, they're only saying screw it, I'll just go ahead and pit, or they have more than enough. They are not saving whatsoever. That much I know.
Well, we did see, I think the 68 do 46, 47 laps on fuel. They were 48 laps to 50 before, but we had a couple cautions, and they would. And I think they might have been able to save enough, and I think they might be able to go full throttle for this win. I could be wrong about that, but just looking at my twins, and
I don't mean to cut you off there, but the only thing that has me a little worried about that is I was just looking at Cody Luke in the 8 car. He's saving a lot. He's clutching a lot, and he's keeping it in 4th gear. And he pitted on the same lap. So that has me a little worried.
Yeah, maybe that 68 of Joshua Moy was able to do some kind of magic and go as long as he did. Because if that's the case, then maybe it's not as good on fuel as what we think they are, and maybe it might actually be as close as it is. Because I don't know, it's New Hampshire, and this track is known for fuel mileage, and that could happen. Meanwhile, back for second, and here comes the fastest car of the day up to 2nd place, and he really wants that race lead from the 15.
Nice little move there in front of Greg Lovell, but is going to take 2nd place back. Can he close on the 15? And do they have enough fuel to make it? We're coming to within 30 laps to go here soon. Are they just going full bore and saying that they'll just take that splash, or do they have enough? Again, based on what I'm seeing further back in the field, you would argue that they absolutely don't, but you never know. Stranger things happen.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, we got the top 6 all under a blanket. You got New Hampshire all a 2.5 separate from each other. And I think that's all due to the fact of this 15 might be saving a little bit in 4th gear, and because of the 42 being faster, you just bring everyone else behind them and slowly catching that 15.
We're officially 30 laps to go here. Just keeping it nice and clean is Matt Watkins at the moment. But he's got a lot of hunger guards breathing right down his neck. Including Sean Romero, who has closed right in on this battle. I always say that Sean Romero is one of those quiet guys that just will sneakily find his way into a great position. So he's looking to maybe pull that off once again. Guys running some slightly different lines. And that 42 is definitely there. So if he's not saving, I feel like he'll be making a move here pretty soon.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that he's not saving, because he was the 10th faster than the 15 last time by. And if he does that again, eventually he's going to get past for the race lead.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, these two have been the dominators of the field. You could argue the 42 probably was a little better. But that's not to take anything away from Watkins whatsoever. A couple of multi-time winners on the season already, and they are looking to do it once again. They're going to do what they need to do to try to get that done. I saw a little battle there. And oh my, Jovan Anderson really throwing the clutch in.
Wow.
They aren't good. They are not good to make it.
Yeah, forget what I was saying that earlier. They are not. This could get interesting. At loud.
Oh man, this is gonna get.
Oh, the 71 almost spun it. Oh man.
On to it. Yeah, that's another risk of throwing the clutch in. When you go from no power to the rear wheels to getting the power down a little bit, that can also get a little scary as far as spinning it out. So. 81 here, the 42 still right on the tail of the 15. I feel like he's trying to save a little bit. But again, with how much I saw, the 8 saving and then the 93, there's just no way.
My only theory is that the top two have just said, screw it, we're just gonna try to make it, and then if they can't, just do a splash late. Because that 42, he's been all over the bat bump up to 15 for most of this one. And eventually the 15 is gonna make a mistake with how much pressure he has from that 42.
Yeah, that's where you just gotta keep your head on straight there and just run your own race. Watkins has plenty of experience with that. Just run your own race and don't worry about the guy behind you. As difficult as that is, actually get your brain to settle into that mode as opposed to just looking behind you and just overdriving it just that little bit. That could open the door. But again, there's just no way, because even if you have to take a splash, and these guys back here don't, particularly I'm looking at Roberson, Moyers, Coleman, I mean, they're just going to say, see you later, you'll never catch them. Almost a moment there for Alex Moe, got a little bit higher on the racetrack, but they keep it straight, gets in the wall. Big run though, so far in 4th place.
And the only problem, well, not really a problem, but scenario is, we might be talking about all this and stuff about fuel mileage and stuff. What if we get a caution that blows up the whole fuel strategy game, and then they don't have to save anyone. They can just pit.
Oh yeah, and then they can go crazy. And they can do whatever the heck they want and just have at it.
And honestly, I wouldn't mind them going crazy.
I mean, this is one of those scenarios right now where, yeah, if you get a caution, it's going to punch everyone back up, and they're all going to be right on top of each other. But if it doesn't, then we're going to see who does actually have enough fuel and who doesn't. And that's not to take away from this battle, because I know that this 42 is just chomping at the bit to try and make a move on this 15. He is so freaking close to him. I can't believe he hasn't tried yet, but again, I think that's just because they're trying to conserve. Just that little bit to see if they can try to pull it off. As we are coming to 20 laps to go at New Hampshire.
It's running down, crunch time. Only 20 laps away till we find out who gets a lobster dinner. And I don't know, if these guys make it, I think it's going to be the 42, but if they can't make it, then who the heck knows?
Whoa,
oh!
Alex Moe.
Well, I almost jinxed it that time. Oh, someone's in the wall back, and the 64 spinning.
Oh, 64 is spinning it out. That's Toby Roberson. Is that the yellow?
That is the caution.
It is.
That time I jinxed it. Well, we are great commentators, and we keep on jinxing it multiple times.
Hey, this is how you stay in the job.
And unfortunately, the 64 is out.
Oh man. That's a bummer there. Yeah, he was in a good position in terms of that fuel strategy, because he pitted a little later than the others. But now that, like you said, that's out the window, I imagine everyone's going to pit here, get some fresh rubber, and we're going to have at it for probably about 15 laps.
Well, crunch time indeed. Now, we just get to see a pure 15-ish lap 1 to the finish, and you don't have to worry about any fuel.
Nope.
Saving here at Allen.
Nope, just go at it. Whatever you got is what you brought. So we'll see what happens here. Keep an eye on this battle off of pit road here before we take a look at the caution. 42 with that front stall. Is that gonna get him into the lead? Here comes Watkins. Looks like the 42 got him. Or unless they go by the yellow line. Looks like they are going by the yellow line. Watkins will hold on to it. Followed by Smetana, Lovell, and Sean Romero will be 4th. Alex Moe in 5th. Let's get you a quick look at what happened to the 64 here to bring out this caution. only the third caution of the night. Or excuse me, fourth caution. Toby Roberson coming off of turn 2. First time that we have had any trouble of this magnitude. Yeah, just came off the corner, back end got a little light. He tried to save it, and after bouncing off the wall, that car just went see you later, and he decided, you know what, it ain't worth it. I'm just gonna step out.
And that's unfortunate because he could have been in the running if this were to go all the way, and unfortunately, he was the caution and he's out from it. So we got 11 cars left, about 15 laps, 1 to the finish, and the top 2 cars have been the classic field here in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. 15 and the 42. Can the 42 hold his own on the outside? Greg Lovell was right there with them there for a while on that run. So that 088 has plenty of speed. We'll see if it's going to be enough to try to get into this battle. It is going to be exactly 15 laps to go on this restart. Sean Romero there in 4th. Definitely not a driver to count out. I guarantee you that Josh Myers and Randall Coleman did not want to see that caution happen, because they would have been in a very good position. But now they're going to have to try to claw their way forward along with Joe Anderson, who's back there as well.
15 laps to go. Do you think this is the last caution? Or do you think with them knowing that it's 15 laps to go, they can make it all the way, that it might get a little bit crazy here at New Hampshire?
Well, it's going to get crazy regardless.
Oh yeah, but are we going to get another caution?
I don't think we're done with cautions. I think that this has now opened the floodgates. But we'll see. These are some of the best of the best, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're able to do. Matt Watkins, Jacob Smetana, 2 of the dominators on the season. First and second in points, if I'm not mistaken, as we are back to racing. 15 to go. A nice even restart, but Watkins with the preferred lane. 42's got to try to stay on his quarter panel. He can get the run here. He does. He's still there.
Still side by side in 3 and 4. 42 one's raw. That's not enough for 088 to get involved in this battle for the way to lead.
Watkins is clear now. 14 laps to go here. Look at Alex Moe trying to dice it up here. Going to get side by side for third. 42 gets in front of the 088 just barely. As the 088 slides up just a bit. Well, that's a great corner there for Lovell.
And the 15. And Matt Watkins really loves the way he sees behind him. Massive slide shot from the 08, the 088, and now the 048 to the inside. Oh my god.
The wall there.
Oh no.
Getting sideways. Oh boy. I don't know what just happened there. Something really weird just happened with the 42. It's like his engine cut. And that just checked everyone up.
Oh
my god. What a drift for Stallhood.
Talk about Tokyo Drift on New Hampshire. Jeez, what a save.
Oh, it's Moyers.
Oh no. There they go.
And that's his second. So he'll be done.
That sucks.
Dang. And in all that, Alex Moe got up to second. A driver who I've been praising him all night for running solidly, but now he's going to find himself on the front row on this restart. We'll keep it here for the live shot for just a moment to see if they pit with 12 to go. Looks like a lot of these front runners will not. A couple fake outs. But no one taking the bait. So let's see exactly what happened here to cause another caution. This will be the 5th of the night. Again, it looked like Moyers pretty much spun out almost the exact same way that he did the first time.
Going for once again here tonight.
Nick gets down in the corner and it was a little higher than he was earlier and looked like maybe just overcooked it. But man, one of the fastest drivers really all season. It has not been the best of nights for that 68 as he has officially called it a race. We have 10 drivers left to settle this one out.
10 drivers, 10 laps, still at the line.
We have 10 to go here at the line. Lights still on the pace car for now. So Alex Moe is now going to be next to the 15, but Greg Lovell with plenty of speed, and Watkins with a little bit of a buffer between him and the next best car all night, who will be back in. That is going to be 5th place for the 42. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think they can give Watkins a run for his money?
I think so. We've seen this 048. He's been quiet all night. Now he's up second. Maybe he could just do something. Same with the Seal 88. He's been quiet. But I think this 42, he's going to be driving through the field. He starts 5th now. I think this is the back he's been all night. So he might be driving the wheels off that thing to try to get back to the front.
I would not be surprised if he makes some aggressive moves. And word from the 68 in chat there, simply, I messed up. But man, you had a good car, and I think you had the fuel to do it. But tough break for you, man, and just definitely go and get him next week. I mean, you had last week, so. But nah, man, good running. So lights are out. There's going to be 7 to go. Or 8 to go. 8 to go. Yeah, excuse me.
Oh boy. It's about to get wild.
It's about to get crazy. We'll see what that 42 is going to do. I would not be surprised if he gets the restart that he needs if he'll make it 3 wide. Does that 048 have enough speed to try to keep up with the 15? Or is it going to be his run, or can the 088 and 71 try to spoil the party? I mean, you got 10 drivers here, all with a shot at this point.
My money's on that 42. I think it's going to be driving the wheels off of that forward, and I think he's going to fly his way from 5th to the win here and get a good fancy lobster dinner.
That would be the drive of the season if he's able to pull that off. This is a tough track to pass, but here we go. Pretty good restart for the 15, not bad for the 048. He's going to have to try to keep it up there as best as he can. 3 wide behind them. 93 up on the top side.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
no, there they go.
No. Caution is going to fly. And we have enough laps to go that I think that we are still going to get green.
I saw that happen, and I knew it was going to happen. The 048 got sideways, he saved it once, and then he's going to save it again, unfortunately.
Oh, man. 2nd and 3rd. And there they go.
Well, there's 2 spots for the 42.
That was 3 spots. Look who's...
3 spots.
Look where he scored.
Oh, wow. Well, how
2nd
many?
place.
Okay, wow. Well.
Yeah, it looks like Sean Romero gave him credit and gave him the spot, so... We got ourselves a shootout now. And you thought it was going to be crazy at first. This is probably going to be like 2-3 laps at most.
Do they have a green light checker then this week? Was it just
They do not.
Okay. So if we get another caution, that would probably make it end.
Yeah,
Under
that'll be
caution.
it officially. They will race back to the caution flag this time, if it were to come out. As 048 just getting a little loose, trying to correct it, and just came around and just a little clip from Greg Lovell, and that's what sent them both down to the wall. Really, the biggest wreck all night when you think about it, which is not really. It's not saying much, but I think that also just to the quality and how clean tonight has been. When two cars going down and kind of just kissing the inside wall is the biggest wreck of the night.
Yeah, but besides that one, every other crash I think was just a single close spin. So
Yeah.
these guys have done a pretty good job all night.
Yeah, it's been good stuff. And credit to these guys. This is a tough track. And it's bitten them a couple times, but it's been a good show for sure. So right there, we just took 5 laps to go. Going to be 4 this time. So we'll have 3 to go at most. And that 42 is going to have to drive like he's never driven in his life in order to keep that. In order to keep a chance in the outside lane. Because that has just not been the place to be when you're making these passes. But we know how strong he is, so I'm not doubting him. That's for sure. Sean Romero in 3rd place there. Great run thus far. We'll see if he can maybe try to convert and make something happen. And also back into the picture, Randall Coleman going to be in 4th place here. One of the guys that we said would be in the catbird seat if that fuel run had gone on. So anyone in this top 4 here, I think, is going to be in a good position. But boy, you trying to beat these front 2? Flip a coin, and you can pretty much decide who's gonna win that way.
Yeah, it's honestly it could come down to where top 3 could take each other out, and 4th place could seal it. Anything could happen if 3 laps to restart, especially at New Hampshire.
Oh man, this is going to be something to behold. So here we go. Coming out of turn 2. And the 3-lap shootout. Lights are out on the pace car. All these guys still on the lead lap. Also got to give a little shout out to Sean Whitehill. It has not been his night, and yet he's sticking in there and going to end up with the top 10 regardless. Yeah, how about that? You are looking at the entire top 10 here, so everyone is going to finish with the top 10. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I think with how that 12th night it's been, I think he will gladly take a guarantee top 10.
Right down underneath, for that matter. Or 7th, rather. But here we go. Green flag, 3 to go. Next flag will end the race.
Oh, no.
Oh, and just like that, that's going to be it. But they will race back. Oh, man, what a great drive there for Watkins. They're going to be 3 wide for 2nd. 42 got the wall a little bit. It's going to be on between Coleman and Romero, but Matt Watkins is going to seal the deal. Contact, and the 71's going to spin into the wall.
And that's going to cost him the 2nd to 7th off the final turn, unfortunately.
Golly. Kept it straight, but that's going to be that.
Same.
Caution is down, and as long as Watkins can just pace around here for these 2 laps, actually coming to the white flag, that is going to do it. For the Funko number 15, gonna win another one.
That's unfortunate. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish on the green, but the 15 car, Matt Watkins, 2nd best car of the night, and he's gonna get the job done. Tough way for the 42 though. Feel like he had the best car, just things don't look out for at the end.
Yeah, it didn't quite get what he needed there. They were 3 wide for second going down the back straightaway there. But yeah, just didn't quite have the corner that he needed. Fell back just a little bit, but still gonna finish third. One of the fastest cars on the night. And Randall Coleman, of course, gonna get second there. How about it? 4th place for Cody Luke. Gotta dig that. And it looks like Greg Lovell will recover to a top 5 after being involved in a caution prior to that. Alex Moe will be 6th, though. Good recovery for those two after spinning out the caution prior. Sean Romero, Tyler Stallhood, Joan Anderson, and Sean Whitehill will be in the top 10 in that order. But Watkins, as you said, pretty much the second fastest throughout most of the night. But a well-deserved win, and it is official here as they cross the line. Everyone gets a little, just kind of lets loose there. We'll have a quick look here to see what caused the final caution, and then we'll get a little word here with our race winner. Watch him come through here, watch him burn it down. Oh yeah, there you go. Just misses the wall.
Well, Andrew, I think it's safe to say that he might be a little bit sorry to get a lobster here out in New Hampshire. Wins in Loud New Hampshire.
Yeah, I hope that he doesn't have a problem with lobsters as he heads to infield looking for Victory Lane. That's a porta potty there. Don't know if this track actually has. Oh yeah, it does. Actually pulling it in there. That's awesome. It's a nice shot there. There we go. Perfect shot there for the Funko number 15 in Victory Lane. Great drive. Again, one of the fastest cars all night, so a well-deserved win. For car number 15, we are going to get a very quick shot at exactly what happened to cause the final caution of the race. You saw Joan Anderson going for a spin. And we'll get the final look, and then we'll get Matt Watkins in here to get a little word from the race winner. I'd be interested to see exactly if he and some of those leaders would have made it prior to that caution coming out.
Yeah, I think it might have been close, but never will know.
We're going into the corner, and yeah, he just gets hit from Whitehill. And they all kind of checked up there, and Sean Whitehill wasn't quite ready for it, and that was that. Get one more look at it. It's a tap and a see you later. But again, that could have been so much worse.
And not too many bad crashes here tonight. Pretty good job from these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, for the number of cautions that are technically going to be put down, it was a really, really clean race throughout the entire thing. So we'll see if we can get a word with our race winners here before we wrap it up for the evening. Mr. Matt Watkins, the Funko number 15 Toyota. Waiting to get the word back. And there we go.
User was moved to your channel.
And there he is, Mr. Matt Watkins himself. Another win in the season. Another flat track, you could say. But you definitely had to earn that one. You and Jacob were pretty much the class of the field But he was giving you a run for your money, and you were giving him a run for his at different points in the race. Fuel mileage at one point, a little bit of everything there. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, man, that was tough. Jacob was really fast, especially on the long runs. First 20 laps, I feel like we could stay right. We were pretty equal. Whoever was up front could probably hold it, but after that, man, he would just take off. And I short pitted, and I cycled through and got the lead. And then we got a caution in between all that, and got the track position. And then there was another caution, and we were short on fuel, and they could make it, so we had to hope for another caution. And it worked out. So yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be my question for you when that on that run. How were you guys on fuel? Because I saw a mixed bag of you guys pushing and some guys in the back trying to save. And I was thinking, are you guys maybe good? I'm not sure. Where were you guys at on that?
Yeah, I was nowhere close. I was like 6 short. I just didn't want to give it the track position. It's so hard to pass here. I was like, I'm just going to play the odds and hope there's a caution. I think Jacob was doing the same thing. And I think Joven and maybe a couple other cars, Toby, Josh, they can make it on fuel. So, yeah, if that caution didn't come out, we were in trouble.
Well,
Oops, yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
so first off, congratulations, Matt, on the win. My question is this. Now, since you won, you get a lobster dinner. Do you like lobster, or do you have a fear of lobster?
I would probably keep that thing as far away from me as possible. Yeah.
They go the Denny Hamlin route.
Yeah, I'd be going full Denny Hamlin on a lobster.
I can't entirely blame you. Those things are huge.
Yes.
But no, congratulations, man. I mean, we'll keep that lobster away from you. So instead, I will let you have the floor for any shout-outs, thank yous, and any closing thoughts.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out and putting on the broadcast. Look forward to going back and watching them. I always go back and watch them and check them out. For better or for worse, whether my racing's good or bad, I go back and check it out. So this will be fun to watch. So appreciate that. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun this season. So hopefully we can get a little momentum going for the rest of this regular season.
Yeah, got not too much farther in the regular season to go. Second half of the season getting going. So congrats. Hope it keeps up, and we'll definitely be watching for you as it goes on.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
You take it easy, man.
User left your channel.
So
Well, good to know that he does not like lobsters.
Maybe you prefer shrimp.
Maybe.
Nathan, I'll get your closing thoughts on the night and what you thought. Of course, welcome back to the booth, man. Great to have you. Thank you for joining in. Your thoughts on quite the roller coaster race here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's been a year since I've done any offline stuff, and it's been at least 3 or 4 years since I've done anything online related. Really fun stuff tonight at New Hampshire. Good battles all over the place. It's all the 15 and 42 be the dominant colors of the night, and no big cautions, no big wets, but great racing. Only complaint is I wish it in the under green, but it happens sometimes. But a great one to come back to. Hopefully, who knows, maybe there might be some more. But good job to the 15 of Matt Watkins on getting the win.
And again, man, great to have you here. Hopefully not the last time this season. I'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, to everyone else though for watching, thank you for doing so. Congrats to Matt Watkins indeed. And we will see you all probably next week. I'm drawing a blank as to where it is that we're going, but y'all will find out. And we'll make sure that we bring it to you right here. And we'll have some fun with it, as we always do. But for now, I'm going to sign off for the night. Stay safe, everybody, and take it easy. And, hey, just tune back in next week for another great show. Take care. Bye for now.